the war started. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. We made it. Yeah, I know. We're here today to celebrate love in many forms. The love between Dave and Shan, the love we feel for each of them as individuals, the love we share together as we take part of their ever-strengthening commitment. First, though, I wanted to thank them for a couple things in particular. Roughly a year ago, in the early days of the pandemic, Dave and Shan started a weekly remote trivia type game called Sheep and Peas. It was really fun, highly recommend. Ask them about it if you don't know about it. I won several times. What I'm saying is, we all needed stuff to help us get through this last year, and we will not forget that. And in a similar vein, thank you for having this wedding now, for bringing your family and friends here together, because it has been the shining light at the end of a dim tunnel. Something we could all point to and say, when this happens, things will have turned out all right. And here we are, May 29th, 2021, things are looking up. So thank you so much for this. Let's look back in time and place to where Dave and Shan's relationship first started. Back to October 2016, back to a place where many great things began, a Trader Joe's. There's Dave, limping around the frozen food aisle after a night of getting fouled hard in a church basketball game, having nodded along during the obligatory prayer circle, not knowing where those prayers would take him. And Shan, happily stocking the vitamin aisle, working the register in the demo station, RIP, making small talk with the Clarendon customers, not knowing that small talk would lead her here today. Their very first date, the very next day, is a matter of public and lasting record. I'm going to read very closely from the card right now so I get it right. David paid for Shan's coffee in block hashtag 436019 at 11:32:16 a.m. MGT for 0.00597149 Bitcoin, aka 597,149 Satoshis. Apparently they also remember what each other wore that day, but unfortunately that information is not on the blockchain. In many ways, you're still the same people now. Still into Trader Joe's, still slinging Satoshis, still fiercely independent, still kind and generous, still drink too much seltzer, still enthusiastic, open-hearted, and open-minded, still ginger. But we also recognize and celebrate your evolution, how your perspectives have influenced each other, how your qualities have strengthened one another, how shared experiences and adventures big and small have brought you closer together further down the path that led to today. Big adventures, everything from the desert and mountains of New Mexico, to Hawaii, to Teotihuacan, to Israel, to meet Dave's family, to Charlottesville and beyond. Smaller adventures at home, staying up late listening to music, foraging for chanterelles in a dark forest, eating berries from urban trees, moving in together, planning 2 weddings, spending a pandemic year in a 700 square foot studio apartment, balancing very unique sleep schedules. So much you've done together and so much ahead. Your decision to marry each other is based upon dedication, unconditional support and love, continually growing together and one day having a family together. This wedding is a celebration of your love and a new level of commitment to each other, witnessed by your cherished friends and family here today. Thank you all for being a part of this special day, and thanks to all who could not be here, but whose support and love we feel nonetheless. On that note, Dave's mother will now present the ketubah. Yeah, just show her. Yeah, go ahead and stand here.
Well, okay, so this is a ketubah. There are several versions for it, and that's actually the version that Shannon and David chose. And ketubah traditionally is a commitment of the groom to his bride. He commits to you, to cherish you, to love you, to supply all of your needs. And that's the basics. I mean, if you have time later to read these words, it's beautiful words. But what they chose is a more contemporary kind of ketubah, more egalitarian. So it's not just David is committing to Shannon, but Shannon commits to David, and they both sign. So traditionally, you give it to her, because her rights, your rights are here. His commitment to take care of you. Yeah, so you just give it to her. Yeah, and because we don't have a table here, so I don't know if somebody else. Yeah, thank you. Now, David asked me to say a few more words. Why was the ketubah important for him? because it goes back to my parents, his grandparents, and the year is 1944. Now, I guess most of you realize that was when World War II was still going on, and when the extermination of the Jews was still going on, and it arrived to Hungary. So my parents, my young mother, very young mother, high school student, and my father, who was a rabbinical student, that means he was studying to become a rabbi. They were in a camp, they knew each other already, and the decision was made that they better get married, because who knows what tomorrow or next day brings. So my father, who was a rabbinical student, out of his memory and with his own handwriting, he wrote a ketubah that we have a photocopy of, and David saw it and he said, I want to have a ketubah also in my wedding today. So that's the story. Luckily, both of them survived. My parents survived, and they were married for 71 years, which is very, very long to be married. So that's the story of the ketubah. So I feel my parents here with us. And of course they are not here because they died. But I think through our thoughts and through our love, we can bring them here today. Shannon met my mother. My husband, wherever he is, was in love with my mom. So she was a special lady, and my father too. So they are here with us today, and also with us here, the father of Shannon, who physically is not here, but he's here with us because we think of him, because we love him. And I want to finish with a traditional blessing. This is a very old blessing, almost 4,000 years old, really old. And it goes like this. יברכך Adonai וישמרך. You will be blessed and you will be guarded. יישא Adonai פניו אליך וישם לך shalom. This is a blessing of peace, which is the biggest of them all. Shalom, peace. And I just want to add peace in the heart, peace in the family, peace in the nation, peace on earth.
Awesome, yeah. Very welcome. Yeah. 71 years to get just like 4 or 5 cicada cycles. We have 2 demonstrations of unity today. One very old and one very new ritual that together symbolize Dave and Shan's commitment to each other. The first is a Bitcoin transaction, 597,149 satoshis to be sent to Kabe, Harry's school network in Somaliland. A public accounting of love, which will be entered into the cryptographically secure ledger that is the blockchain.
It has been entered.
Oh, great. Thank you.
For the second, Dave and Shan will drink, or attempt to drink, from this New Mexican wedding vase from the trip where they got engaged. Drinking simultaneously from the 2 spouts symbolizes 2 lives coming together as one, and hopefully does not incur additional cleaning costs.
Yeah, bring it to you. All right. We did not. Probably should have
Practice.
practiced.
Let's go downhill.
I think we, yeah, downhill.
Downhill.
Okay.
For those of you sitting in the chair of the audience, imagine it looked very different this way. It's great. So now, after the unity ceremony, After the unity ceremonies, now is the time for the vows. The Bitcoin transaction took.
Can't swipe.
Oh dear.
Can't swipe properly.
Before tender for this guy. Shannon,
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I saw you, floating down the aisles of Trader Joe's, stocking shelves like a butterfly. You instantly stood out. Your long, beautiful red hair, your even longer legs, your beaming smile, you were impossible to miss. I instantly had a crush on you and wanted to get to know you so badly. It took me at least another visit to Trader Joe's before I had the luckiest moment of my life. When all of the cashiers working and all the customers in line, you called me to your register and we spoke for the first time. I was smitten. The next opportunity I had, I asked you out. It was the best decision I ever made in my life, in my entire life. We both fell for each other fully and joyfully. Right from the start, there were no games, no exaggerations about who we were, just a sincere and genuine connection between us that we built from spending so much time together. There was such an ease to being with you, whether it was making coffee and doing a crossword together, or adventuring out and doing something totally new. Every second we spent was meaningful and fun. I appreciate so much how you came into our relationship with an open mind and open heart. You were able to understand me on a deep level, and our bond grew so strongly and quickly from there. I am so grateful for that and feel so fortunate to have had the experience of falling in love with you. So far, we have built a great foundation for our relationship that I am eager to continue to build upon as we take this step into marriage together. I vow to always be there for you, to listen to you with an open mind and open heart, to support you in all your dreams, your ambitions, and your goals, to be your traveling partner, to be a devoted father, and to continually work on myself and our marriage. I love you so much and will cherish deeply all the time we will have together.
David, I'm a little chilly. That's where I started crying at the pregnancy. I wish I had written vows to you when we first met, even though I was suspicious of you because you were so nice. Because I'd be completely different from what I'm writing today. Since being welcomed into your life and family in October of 2016, I've grown and learned so much about ways of being that I never even knew existed. You and your family have taught me about Hebrew, cryptocurrencies, jobs not in the federal government, including playing poker, which apparently you can do for a living, MMA, and a million other nuggets of life that I had no clue about. Throughout these last 4 years, it's been a goddamn pleasure growing with you. And I mean that literally as well, because I do hope you've grown to love my extensive array of plants. I would like to make, in order to continue growing together, I would like to make these vows to you. I vow to hear you when you have things to say, big or small, and to talk things through with you when you need someone to talk with. I vow to build a family with you, both blood and not, and to always maintain relationships with family both near and far. finally, I vow to keep life interesting and to continue exploring this great blue globe with you until the end of time.
Now for the ring.
Our ring barriers.
Ring barriers.
Who got the rings?
That's smart.
I'll take this one. I'll take this one. You give this one to Shannon. Thanks, Sasha.
Thank you very much.
Dave and Shan hand forged these rings for each other. Both rings are wabi-sabi, a Japanese term for perfectly imperfect, symbolic of each other and how they embrace and love each other because of, not in spite of, their imperfection.
Oh, okay, we can do it.
We've done the unity ceremonies, or we've done the rings. There's only one thing left to do. Do you like the
Oh, right.
Yeah. I now present to you the new married couple.